coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. Boom, 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 boom. I appreciate the support, man. We out here, we still thugging it out. We still thugging it out, man, on the road to 150K. But before we get there, we got to get to 90K. Then we got to get to 100, 120, 130, 140, 150. But I believe we can do it. I believe we gonna do it. It's just a matter of time, man. So shout out to everybody who been rocking with me, everybody who support the platform, everybody who participated in this movement, man. Big love to each and every one of y'all, man. We ain't gonna stop, cannot stop, man. We're gonna keep on trying to push this thing and push this positive energy every day, all day, and that's what we doing. So big love to everybody who comes in the morning mud, everybody who taps in at 6, everybody who taps in late night lives. Man, big love to each and every one of y'all, man. Like I say, tell a friend to tell a friend, man. We out here. If you like it, they might love it. You understand? So that's what we trying to do. We trying to push this positive energy, man. You know, get these people on the right track, get their mind right. Like I always say, misinformed people. So we just trying to give them some better information, man, so they can be better prepared for this world out here, man, because that penitentiary is always open. It's always open, and they always got a bed for you. Believe that. They want you to come. They welcome you to come. And if you out here in the streets, man, and you're doing crazy stuff, if you keep campaigning, eventually you're going to get elected. You know, so let's keep it going, man. Let's keep pushing this positive energy. Let's keep on trying to spread this word, man. Shout out to TBP Nation, man. We out here. Big love to all my members. Y'all stay tuned. More giveaways coming. Big love to everybody who's in this whole movement, man. We out here. Man, today, man, I had thought about this, and I was wondering that I had told a story about this before. I don't remember if I did, but man, I'm going to tell it today because it's on my mind, just because of something I just seen on TV. But doing my travels in my 33 years, man, I ran across quite a few people who had been, burnt up real bad, man, set afire. You know, a couple of them in prison, and, I think I ran into a couple on the outside, that this situation happened to them outside of prison as well. But man, I can remember that was a real big thing in that wall, man. It was a real big thing because we had them bars. We had bars and not doors. And dudes could, throw a padlock on your door when you was in your cell. They could throw a padlock on your door and lock it, because everybody had their own padlocks. If they lock your cell, man, and then they, spray your cell down. Back then we had the lighter fluid. They could just spray your cell down with lighter fluid, man, or baby oil or something like that. And man, just strike a match, man, and just watch you burn, man. Watch you burn. It won't nothing that nobody could do. It won't nobody that could save you, And it was a crazy situation, man. And that had dudes paranoid, man. That had dudes sleeping light. That had dudes, just scared. And it should. You should be, because I'm just, going by just what I believe, that has got to be a horrible death, man. That's got to be a horrible feeling. And you trapped and you can't do nothing about it. When I was on Powhatan, man, I told y'all this in the store before, I eventually got to sell a single cell of a dude that had left, who had been burned up in the wall. And he was burnt real bad, and that's why he had that cell. He had that cell for a long time too, but they ended up moving him somewhere else. But man, almost like his whole body was burnt up. And I heard the stories about what had happened to him in the wall. I had heard he had got, the beefing with somebody. They had something going on or whatever the case may be. And dude caught him like that, man, and threw the lock on his door and threw all this lighter fluid and all this stuff in there. And he was screaming and hollering for the police and won't nobody coming. And he was trying to fight the dude away from the cell, getting water, throwing water, trying to stop it. And dude lit the joint and it just set him ablaze, man. And they say he was just sitting there and one of his friends was supposed to come and try to help him. Said dude stood in front of his cell. He pulled a Bethlehem out. He wouldn't let nobody come to the cell. He just sit there and was watching dude just burn, man, just burn. You know, and man, I when dude was telling me that story, when I was visualizing it in my mind, I just was imagining how he could have felt, or you know, man, that's just got to be horrible, man. It's got to be, you know. And they say he was just hollering, man. Dude said they was on the tier, they could smell flesh, they could smell him burning, and he's screaming. And you know, eventually when the police do start to come and holler, everybody lock up and everybody get in, get in, get in. By the time they got to him and can get the door open, say he was already unconscious. He was already unconscious. He was smoking, smoke coming from him, and everybody thought that he had died. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thought that he had passed away. But, you know, obviously he didn't die. You know, they put him in the hospital, whatever. They said, man, he was in there for so long and had to go through so much intense, rehab and stuff like that, that dudes ain't even see him for years and years later when he surfaced, but he's still in prison. That didn't even get him out of prison. You understand me? That didn't even get him out of prison. To me, thinking and logical thing, you'll be like, man, that's a lawsuit he got, you know, that didn't even get him out of prison, man. And when I had eventually got his cell, to my understanding, he had been in prison a long time. I mean, over 30-some years doing that time. You know, so this had supposed to have happened in the wall, but a lot of people told me that story that was in there. A lot of people told me or confirmed the story and stuff and said how it happened, man. And it was crazy. And they said during that time, man, a lot of dudes was that was the go-to. When dudes really they wanted to kill you, I guess, but in their mind, they wanted you to be tortured. They wanted you to be, you know, in pain. They wanted you to be hurt. And this is what they was doing, man. They was setting dudes on fire, man, burning dudes alive. And some dudes ain't make it. Some dudes got burned up in there and died, you know, right there in the cell. You know, so it was, man, I used to have little nightmares about that stuff. And I was in there when I was in there, and I used to, you know, always be aware of people walking by my cell. Always aware of people walking by my cell. Although I'm just getting there and I ain't really got no beef with nobody. You don't know what's in the mind of these people that's in here. You don't know if somebody just don't like you just because they don't like you. You don't know if somebody going through what they going through and they just looking for, you know, anybody or anything to explode on or to take it out on. You don't know these things in there because these type of things do happen. You could have beef with somebody that you ain't even never said nothing to, you ain't never do nothing to, you ain't never cross, look at, or say not one word out of the way to, and he could already have it in for you. He could already have it in for you because that's something that's going on with him. You know, so yeah, that was some real live stuff to be aware of, man, in that wall. And as I started moving around, even when I got out of there, you know, I done been in situations and been on compounds where dudes done that. I done been on a compound, on a regular compound where we got doors. The doors that slide back and forth where dudes done jam dude's door and set that cell on fire. Set the cell on fire with dude in there. With dude in there, you know. And he got burnt, but he ain't get burnt as bad as like his whole body and everything, but he did get burnt. You know, this is why they eventually took the baby oil and all of that stuff out of the prison system because dudes was using it to set people afire, to set cells afire. You know, I've been on a compound where dude beefing with a dude and he mad at him and he go outside for wreck and he set his whole cell on fire just so he could have to replace all of his stuff. Just so he could have to replace all of his stuff, man, because the administration ain't going to pay for it. And he don't get nothing but a arson charge or setting a fire charge in prison. So, you know, you lose out. So all of these things, man, hey, you on edge in prison, man. And that fire, man, I'm telling you, yeah, that's unbeatable. How you going to beat fire? You can't even beat it. You know, dudes used to be so paranoid in that wall, man. They used to have them big 5-gallon buckets, filled with water and had a couple of towels right there in case something like that went down where you could soak the towels in there and throw it over yourself and try to protect yourself because for real, that's the only protection you had. The guards won't gonna save you. Won't nobody else gonna save you. You know, and you stuck in that cell and they done threw that padlock on that door and that cell is up in flames. It ain't nothing else you could do. You trapped off. You trapped off, man. You know, and yeah, I can remember those. Now I also met a dude when I eventually got up there in that cell that I was in, the single cell. Eventually, like a year later, maybe a year later, a white dude moved in the cell right beside me, and he was burnt up. He was burnt all the way up, man, too, like 90% of his body, you know. And he used to always stay in the cell a lot. I don't know if it was because of the way he looked, the way he felt, or was he was, the embarrassment, because you in prison. Dudes don't care. They don't care nothing about that. They'll joke on that. They'll say slick stuff, man. I'm telling you, prison is unforgiving. It ain't no mercy in there. It ain't no sympathy and all of that what you're looking for. People will make fun at whatever defect you have, whatever imperfections you have, because ain't nobody else got nothing else to do. And everybody else in there, truth be told, is already miserable with their own life and their own situation. So if they can find something or somebody that's more miserable than them, then so be it. So I eventually used to talk to the dude every now and then. He didn't talk a whole lot, but then when I did get to talking to him, I'm being honest with you, I felt sorry for him, man. He told me his story and everything. I felt sorry for him, man. I used to try to help him when I could. But he had said, man, that he was going through some stuff, man, and he wanted to commit suicide. And he just felt like he couldn't live no more. He didn't want to live no more. And he said he literally did it to himself. He set himself on fire, man. He set himself on fire. He said he had a lot of time. He will never get out. This, that, and the third. He didn't do it on that compound. He had obviously did it years ago on another compound. But he said, man, he just set himself on fire, man. He said he just poured stuff all over him and he just lit it. But he said after he did it, he regretted it, and he was trying to stop it because it was hurting so bad. You know what I'm saying? He said he could smell his own flesh burning. He could feel his skin peeling off. And he said that he couldn't get it out. He couldn't get it out. And he just eventually passed out. And he said when he woke up, man, he said he had been in a coma. He had a whole lot of other stuff had done to him, medical stuff, and said that it was almost like a month later that he woke up. He was burnt bad. I mean, bad. And now that's not only, I look at it like not only did you wanted to commit suicide so bad, and then you felt like you made a mistake, but the way that he tried to do it, out of all the ways to try to kill yourself, he chose that. And I wanted to ask him, but it seemed inappropriate to ask him, like, well, why did you, even if you felt like things was that bad and you had to spend the rest of your life in prison and you wanted to commit suicide, why would you choose that way right there? You know what I'm saying? That just always puzzled me that he chose to try to take his life by burning himself up, and now he got to see that every day. He got to look at that every day that he look in the mirror. He got to look at his body. He got to look at his skin. He got to feel that every day. So to me, it's like it made the situation worse. And of course, being in prison for the rest of your life, I mean, that's a worse enough scenario in itself. But to know that that the pain, and he said he still was in pain. He still was in pain. He said this was years ago, but he said his body still hurts. He still be in pain. Certain movements give him pain because his skin is so tight in certain positions and in certain places, and like his neck is like almost to the side because his skin is burnt all up. Man, it was just horrific, man. It was horrific to even look at, and then man, it was crucial just to hear people talking about that. So like I say, it's a lot more things be going on in prison, man, and that people really know about. There's a lot of things going on in there, the demons in people's head that have them, self-mutilate themselves or hurt themselves because they don't like the conditions, they don't like their situation, they don't like the road ahead of them that they know they got to travel. And dudes try to find many ways. I know dudes that cut on themselves. I know dudes that OD'd on pills. I know dudes that just ain't never did drugs and then they start doing drugs in prison because they be wanting to OD. They want to go out like that. I mean, all types of situations, man. But that fire in prison, man, is something else, man. And dudes will use that as a weapon, man. They will burn you. They will burn you alive up in that joint. They will burn you alive. I know them dudes that set the booth on fire because they arguing with the CO that's in the booth and they can't get to him. You know, I done seen dudes douse the whole booth, man, and then just light a match and just sit there. And I done seen people in that booth go hysterical, go crazy, trying to get up out there, calling, you know, everything for them to come put the fire. I done seen people leave the booth because, and that leaves everybody else unattended. You know what I'm saying? That's when it's dangerous on the inside too, because now they know it ain't nobody in the booth. They know it ain't no supervision. Somebody beefing with you, it ain't. They could try to take you out right then and there. Right then and there, because that's an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? That's an opportunity that they may not have had. Yeah, and dudes gonna take advantage of that opportunity. Same thing when riots happen. When riots jump off, you know, it's a riot is supposed to be a protest against the administration. But every riot that I ever been in, dudes done got busted up by another inmate, another convict. Dudes done got stabbed up by another convict. Dudes done got their heads split open by another convict. Because dudes use those opportunities to get at the person that they want to get at, because they know it's so much chaos, it's like a diversion. So they use that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that they're going to get away with it, because the overall thing about the riot is going to supersede everything else. Ain't nobody worrying about coming getting you or take you to the Justice Committee for stabbing up Joe Blow when they got $2 million worth of damage done to the institution, and the institution is out of control. That's gonna be their main focus. So when a riot or something like that jump off, man, you got to be on your P's and Q's, man. You got to be on your P's and Q's. Your head got to be on a swivel. You know, because somebody might be coming at you. Dudes that set sales on fire doing riot. Dudes set their block on fires doing riot. And when the block be on fire, the trash cans be on fire, the booth be on fire. I done been in a riot when they had the pool tables in there. The pool tables on fire. You know, dudes done tied sheets to dudes' cells and locked them in their cell and try to throw fire in their cell with toilet paper rolls on fire and set the cell on fire. So man, yeah, man, they be wilding out in there, and once something sparks something, and everybody just goes off, especially like in a riot situation, man, it's chaos, man, it's total chaos. You got to be on your P's and Q's at every moment. You know, somebody that you had words with 6 months ago is plotting on you. You know, he plotting on you right now. This is opportunity, so you got to be ready. You know, you got to grab that Bethlehem and put your back against the wall and be ready for whatever. And yeah, it be going down, man. But that fire, man, that fire has always been a part of the penitentiary since I've been in there, man. Dudes would use that fire as a weapon. Dudes would set you afire. Dudes would set your cell afire. That's just how it go. And you got to be on point for that type of stuff. And sometimes, like I say, man, it depends on the situation of where you at. You can't do nothing about it. If you locked up in that cell, what can you do besides try to get to some water, or besides try to put the fire out? So if you can't do that, then you stuck. You stuck, you know. So yeah, man. Then I told you I had that cellar before that had been burned up and stuff real bad too. But he, you know, I felt sorry for him at first until I found out he was a weasel. You know what I'm saying? He was a weasel. He was going through my stuff and stuff when I went in there, and I ended up having to put hands on him. But once I found out that you a weasel and you a rat, then I ain't had no sympathy for you. Plus, you violating because you going through my stuff. I don't know what you going through it for. I don't know what you doing when I'm not in there. I don't know what you done seen. I don't know what you done took. I don't know what you done touched. You know, so that put me in a whole different state of mind. You know, but he was a weasel. You know what I'm saying? But at first, just looking at him, when you look at somebody like that, if you got any type of empathy or sympathy, you saying to yourself, you know, this person done went through something horrific, and you kind of like feel sorry for them. But some of these people, some of these dudes that I have met like that, they already was who they was before that happened, and they even the same person after it happened. But you don't know that because you just going by what you see. But this joker, he was a weasel. You know what I'm saying? He was a straight weasel. And most of the dudes that I have run across like that have, you know, had their bouts with fire, man, and been burnt up real bad. Most of them dudes is humble, man. They real humble. You know, they real humbled, man. And you know, I guess, you know, it is a part of what they went through and what they look like now, and whatever they going through still mentally from being, you know, burnt alive. So, most of them are humble, man, but, you can't sleep on them neither. I knew one dude, he had a lot of burns, but he had just back burns on one side, and he was dangerous. He'll put that Bethlehem in. And he'll put that Bethlehem in you for joking about how he look. He get offended if he catch you staring at him. You know what I'm saying? He get offended. So yeah, man, it's just crazy. It's a crazy, crazy world, man. Penitentiary is crazier, and the things that you see in there, the people that you run across in there, that it's just it'll never cease to amaze you, man. It would never cease to amaze you. It didn't never cease to amaze me. But I say it take a different type of dude to try to set you afire, man. Real talk, it take a different type of dude to try to set you afire. It takes a different type of dude to set himself afire. You understand? Can you imagine what the human being, what he's going through, if he feel like this is what he want to do to himself? He feel like this is what he want to do to himself? Can you imagine how his perception of prison was? It was so bad too that he want to not only die, but he want to die in a flame of fire. Man, that's deep right there. That's super deep. You know what I'm saying? To me, yeah, that's super deep, man. But yeah, I definitely have seen some of them dudes, man. And I ain't gonna lie to you, just being honest. Every time I saw one of them, even if I got to know him, if I got to talk to him personally or whatever, I always wondered in my mind before I knew the ones I ended up knowing about what happened to him, whatever. But before then, I always wondered in my mind, how did that happen? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or did that happen in prison? That used to be the first thing that come to my mind whenever I saw a dude that had a lot of, 90% of his body was burnt up. I used to always just think that. What happened? Did that happen in prison? You know what I'm saying? Or, what the situation was, man. But yeah, that's a horrific way, man, to lose your life. It's a horrific thing to go through, period. Even if you survive it, it's going to be life lasting, and it's going to be forever, a part of whatever you doing, man. So, yeah, but crazy stuff, man. But anyway, man, I just wanted to talk about that, man. But yeah, and the thing about it too, man, that dude in the wall, when they told that story, when he got burnt up like that, they said the dudes was trying to help him. He said he was just hollering, let him burn. Just let him burn. Standing there with the Bethlehem, let him burn. And he was hollering out to him, burn, N-word, burn. And that's what you call heartless. That's what you call heartless, man. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he got no time. I don't know all of that situation or whatever. But obviously he didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Obviously he didn't care. But anyway, man. Just another penitentiary story, man, about what's going on behind that wall, man. If you don't want no parts of that life, do not volunteer to go up inside there. That's the best I can tell you, man. Get it together while you out here, man, and stay out here, because it ain't nothing nice on that other side, that's for sure. Like I said, man, there's a blessing in every lesson, man, and the blessing is, man, I was able to talk to some of them dudes and get their stories, man, and get their frame of mind, and seeing those things and learning those things and knowing those things was possible, that it could happen to you in prison. It just woke me up and had me on point for that, man, on point for that, because I knew it was now a possibility. So, thank God for me learning that early, because I could have been on the receiving end of that, just like the next man could have been on the receiving end of that, if you ain't prepared for that. But it is what it is, man. But anyway, y'all talk to me in the comments. Let me know. Talk to me. I talk back. Y'all have a great day on purpose, with some purpose, man. Y'all be safe, be smart, make good decisions. And by all means, man, duck the penitentiary, man. And duck them hooks, man. Boom, 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 boom. We out here. Boom.
The banky special. Yeah. Pure delicious. Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something, because I'm rich in personality, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.